Now this is the entire area of Herodium, including this thing, and this thing that we saw there in the valley. Now, right now we are somewhere here. Alright, so we are somewhere here. Nakita nyo, ayun, nakita ko si Justin, nakita ko si, okay? So, after watching a movie here about the story of Herodium and King Herod, we will go out from this way, and the way from there going here, we will end up to this theater. Okay? And then from this theater, we will give you a little time for pictures, and then we will go up in the stairs, and then we will stop from here, and then going to the left, and we will go to the tomb of King Herod the Great, okay, according to the archaeologists, and then back here, and then we will continue our journey to the stairway to heaven. I mean to the stairway to the palace of King Herod the Great, and then we will have a viewing of the area there, the archaeological ruins, and then we will gonna go up to the top, and then going to the area surrounding of the top of the Herod, and after that we will gonna go down again to the center, and then we will go to the secret passage or tunnel, and then we will exit at this point, and then we can have time to watch again another movie about the theater of Herod, and then after watching, exit again back here in the center. So welcome to Herodium, and by the way, it will not be mentioned in the movie. So when Herod died, he was there in Jericho, and he has also a palace in Jericho. He made a palace in Jerusalem. He made a palace in Jericho. He made a palace in Masada. He has also a palace in Sebastian, and the Caesarea. He developed Caesarea. So Herod is a great builder, and that's the reason why they called him as the Great, Herod the Great. And another interesting thing here, why Herod built such magnificent things or buildings in the land of Israel, being a king of Judea, because he studied in Rome, and he became a good friend of the emperor, according to the story. And he saw the grandeur of Rome. He saw everything that is beautiful, magnificent in Rome, in Italy. So when he became the king of Judea, he want to surpass the greatness of Rome. That's why he built the buildings according to the most advanced designs, architectural designs that is available in those days. So he employed a lot of people, and he spent a lot of money to make these magnificent things and buildings in the land of Judea. So, and because of that, although Herod is ambitious, and he has some negative characters and attitude, but he made the land of Judea famous during his time, and because of his achievements, buildings, architectures that remain until today, the land of Israel became an amazing nation or country in a new level. Because without these ruins, we have no Herodium to visit. We have no Caesarea to visit. We have no Masada to visit. We have no Sebastian to visit. But because of him, yung sinasabi natin gusto niya siya yung pinakamagaling. So that's why we have this thing. Okay?
Galing. have come back to Herodium, to this theater, again in the service of the king. But this time I was called not to build, but to demolish. King Herod, I did such amazing projects for him. And this theater was my work as well. But it's doomed now. The king has decided to alter Herodium altogether and transform the whole mountain into his mausoleum. Can you hear them? Those are the workers about to begin the demolition. Oh, what a pity. So few people had time to admire the artwork that decorates these walls. I remember well the exact moment when Herod gave the order to create them. He returned from one of his journeys with news. In just a few months, Marcus Agrippa, the emperor's second in command, will come on a royal visit, and he will be hosted here too, in Herodium. The palace was in a state of frenzied anticipation. The king gave orders to prepare for the visit by meeting the standards that Agrippa was accustomed to in Rome. The finest wine, preserved apples from Italy, fish sauce from Spain. But the most important task of all was the redecoration of the theater's royal hall. The king has his own reasons. He knows that even artwork can sometimes have political significance. The first thing the artists had to do was replaster the walls. After that, they sculpted the upper part of the room in stucco relief, a special kind of plaster. What a marvelous decoration it is. It gives the flat wall depth, like stone carvings. The artists divided the space of the walls with plaster columns, decorated with leaves and crowned by capitals. Between the columns, high up the walls, they designed windows with wooden blinds open to the view. Look carefully. They are not real windows, but paintings of windows hung on the walls. In all his building projects, Herod avoided images of animals or people in obedience to biblical prohibition. But here, in this room, Herod made an exception to that custom. He gave orders to paint views of Egypt and the Nile, selected especially for the guest. After all, the conquest of Egypt by the emperor's army under Agrippa's command symbolizes the unity of the empire. Look, goats on a rocky cliff with a cypress tree and a shrine. And here a crocodile slides into the Nile. And this picture, a bull under a big tree in a pasture. And in the background, a boat at sea. And the colors are so vibrant and natural. Paintings like this were rare, even in Rome. For my workers, finishing the work before the visit seemed an impossible task. But Herod never accepted impossible as an option. Behold, the big moment has arrived. Marcus Agrippa, the emperor's second in command, has entered the harbor of Caesarea. The city was festively decorated, and crowds came out to greet the illustrious guest. And here began the journey that Herod had planned for Agrippa, into the heart of Judea, to the edge of the desert, to Herodium. As the visit progressed, Agrippa was more and more amazed. He did not expect to find such splendor and grandeur at the remote edge of the empire. He smiled with pleasure when he identified the wine from a famous Italian vineyard as his own favorite back home. But Herod had one more surprise for Agrippa, the high point of all his gestures of esteem. Herod led him to the second floor of the royal guest hall. Agrippa was deeply moved as he stood in front of a painting of a naval battle. He recognized it at once. The Battle of Actium, his greatest triumph, where he had defeated Mark Antony and Cleopatra, handing Egypt to the Emperor Augustus on a silver platter. The depiction was so vivid that Agrippa's memories came flooding back, and for a brief moment, he felt the painting was come to life. Oh, King Herod, he knew how to please those he needed to, but also to arouse fear. This cruel man was enormously talented, a lion and a fox in one. His reign was remarkable. The kingdom flourished, trade prospered, people lived well. Despite the venomous criticism aimed at him, I always thought we should not forget the greatness of the man who changed Judea more than all his predecessors. But years go by, and the king feels his end is near, and the show will not go on forever. So he has brought us here, again, to this very room, but this time to demolish it, to cover it with earth, and turn the entire mountain into the eternal mausoleum of Herod, king of Judea. The royal hall has now become the sleeping quarters of the demolition crew. In the last days of the theater, everyone tries to leave his mark on these walls. One etches a maze or a rosette, another draws a boat with a piece of charcoal. I too feel that my end is near. This will apparently be my last assignment. But before I leave this world, I would like to learn one thing. Is it true that everything is destined to disappear with time? In 2,000 years from now, will anyone still know who Herod, king of Judea, was? Who knows? Perhaps somewhere, far into the unforeseeable future, this theater will again be full of people and the sounds of talk and music. Who knows?
Ay,
Okay.
ang ganda.